If I could rip this shirt off right now, I would for you, brother.
Man, boy, wouldn't I as well?
It's
Wouldn't
been
I
a.
as well?
It's we are looking at Monday the 20th. No, I'm sorry, Monday the 28th.
Yes.
This past week, we've experienced the pain of the loss of threes.
It was tough. It was a tough week. It was a really tough week. It was like they targeted every. It's three, but like a triad of, of like pop culture fandom. You had Ozzy Osbourne. You had Malcolm Jamal
My parents
Warner.
were so upset about Ozzy. Like, I'm
Really?
like, you guys are really taking it hard for the Prince of Darkness, aren't you?
Yeah.
And they were, man. They were worried about Sharon.
I mean, rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But you had Malcolm Jamal Warner, who was Theo on the Cosby Show, and
it feels wrong to do a Cliff Huxtable calling for Theo. It feels wrong right now. For some reason.
I won't do it. I'll refrain. Man, losing that from my impersonation arsenal has been hard. It's been hard.
Yeah.
But
I could really dance like him too. Like that was one of my go-to on the dance floor.
Oh yeah, man.
Like you can't do that.
I can't do any of it. Or the sweaters, or
it's all gone.
It's all gone. It's all gone. But and last but not least, Hulk Hogan. Man, it was tough. It really hasn't hit me. I was a tried and true, yellow and red Hulkamaniac from about 86 on. I remember vividly the first time I saw him on television, coming out to, Real American. I was like, that's my guy.
Larger than life. He was everybody's guy.
Forever, that's who I'm gonna pull for. And he made some mistakes. He had a complicated life.
You know what, man? Let's celebrate him tonight.
I'm gonna celebrate him, absolutely. Yeah. But I stuck with him. I was with him all the way.
So my favorite meme that I think I sent you was the obituary that they put in the paper for Hulk Hogan. It was like he was survived by, he was born by his parents, and he died, and then these were daughters, and he was survived by 8.6 billion brothers.
That's pretty good.
I liked it.
Pretty good. I think my favorite Hulk Hogan meme is the one. Well, there's two actually. There's Brother Teresa, where it's a combination of Mother Teresa and Hulk Hogan. It's so great, but it's Brother Teresa. And then there's one where it's when Hogan and Savage parted ways, and he's literally with Mean Gene. He's crying, but the caption says, "When it's 105 degrees in a porta potty and you hear a knock, I'm in here, brother." Oh, that got me.
I don't know that anybody that's a little bit younger, and frankly, most of the people that watch this probably aren't younger, but are able to quite understand how Hulkamania ran wild on the world for a while.
Oh yeah. I mean, here's what you have to consider. Okay. Yeah. You've got John Cena, who's prolific, man. He's in a lot of stuff. You got Dave Bautista. You've got The Rock, who may be the biggest star in Hollywood. Like, those are all like real actors. Okay. Real actors. Probably not going to win Academy Awards, but real actors.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan, like,
not a real actor.
When he came on the scene, he was not a real actor, but the guy was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He hosted Saturday Night Live the night before WrestleMania 1. I mean, he took the world by storm. I have read that apart from Michael Jackson, he was the most requested Make-A-Wish person in the 80s. So children who are like maybe deathly ill or, sick, really sick. Number one was, I want to see Michael Jackson. Number two is, I want to see Hulk Hogan. I mean, that's huge, man. That is a place in culture, in the zeitgeist, if you will.
For a couple decades at least, felt like he was like beloved, like could do no wrong kind of beloved. Like, like people were genuinely excited when he showed up, and he had that thing,
Yeah. Well, the other thing he did, much like, people who have held on for years and years, like Madonna, constantly evolving and changing. I remember distinctly in the mid-90s when someone said to me, because I went out, I stopped watching wrestling when I was like in middle school. I was out. And then in the mid-90s, just before college, someone said to me, "Hey, Hulk Hogan's back and he's a bad guy?" And I went, "What? Are you serious?" And so, Jay, as well as I do, from that point on, our Monday night dance card was booked.
Yes, it was.
We were watching Monday Nitro in the dorm room.
we recorded it, and then we watched all of it, and we fast forward through the commercials and the bad matches.
And watched it again.
And then, yeah. And it was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was great, man.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah, that was a good couple years. I think Justin Perry was part of the reason for that, wasn't he? Wasn't he like a...
Yeah, he was a big wrestling fan. But Justin Phillips, our buddy Justin Phillips and I too, we were both 80s wrestling kids, and when it came back around, that was what we did on Monday nights in college.
Your action figure back there is pretty great. Those seem like to be the only action figures that were kind of made that way, and you could do almost anything to them, and they survived. Like they were indestructible. They made to wrestle.
Some people call them like the dog toy, because they're made of that same kind of rubbery. But this guy right here, man, I believe it or not, I found this maybe like 2 years ago. This is not a childhood survivor. This is something I found for $15. I was like, dang, yeah, I'm going to buy a Hulk Hogan.
It's a good deal for two 24-inch pythons right there.
Man, and I always wanted one when I was a kid. Never had one. Never could find one. So
you never had all the wrestling buddies in the ring and all that?
I had some, but I never had Hulk. I never had the Hogan,
My cousins had the ring, and they had all the wrestlers, and we threw those things against each other all the time.
I love it. Yeah, it hurt, man. If someone hummed it at you really hard.
Well, I mean, we fought each other. Like we fought Bam Bam Bigelow and him together, or Andre the Giant, or whatever.
Yeah.
They had all the action figures. It was a big time.
Oh, thank you, Hulk, for the memories. Yeah.
For many years, probably up until marriage, I had a WWE magazine with Hulk Hogan on it that was in my room, and I think I may have bequeathed it to you at some point.
I don't know if you bequeathed that one to me, but you in a previous episode, I pulled out an Entertainment Weekly that you bequeathed to me. Yeah, and I still have it. Yeah, okay. So didn't get the Hulk Hogan one though. No, because
I had the WWE. I had the WWE Hulk Hogan on the cover. Rocking out. I don't think that this is necessarily nostalgia as much as a little bit of a thank you.
Absolutely, man.
Entertained us when we were young.
Thanks for the memories, Hulk. We love you. We miss you.
Speaking of a little bit of nostalgia and entertainment.
Yeah. What you got?
In 2001, we were both in Birmingham, Alabama, and we went to see the Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire in theaters.
Yes, we did.
And my parents showed up and went to the movies with us. And my dad was wearing this shirt right here.
Yes, he was. Let's see the full glory of that shirt. Oh, that is beautiful. Jay, can you describe the material in which that shirt is made?
Well, I can today. I would have told everyone it was silk, but this is just straight up indestructible polyester is what this is.
Oh, okay. I thought it was silk. I always thought it was silk.
Yeah, that's how I described it. It is silky, but this has got to be straight up polyester. This is indestructible. This was made in 2001. It's 24 years old and it looks brand new.
It is held up, Jay. It is held up.
When I walked in and you saw it in the theater, I wore this past weekend.
Yeah.
When we went and saw the Fantastic Four.
Yes, sir.
So when I walked in, how much did you enjoy it?
Oh man, I don't think you could contain the theater. The screen was not big enough to contain my smile. How much I enjoyed seeing Jay wearing the David Watson silk Spider-Man shirt once again. Silk polyester Spider-Man shirt once again.
I hope you sent that to Greg Jackson.
Oh, I need to do that. I haven't done that yet. Yeah. It's kind of Bigfoot grainy. It's kind of like, it was real fuzzy because it was dark when you guys came in.
Moving.
So it looks a little bit like Bigfoot in the forest. You can't, can you kind of see him? It's one of my old favorite Mitch Hedberg jokes. The whole joke is this. Okay. Bigfoot is blurry. That's Go look it up.
Well, you'll have to put that photo in the comments of when we put it up on the YouTube. You'll have to post it to the comments. But yeah, we went and saw Fantastic Four. I've seen it twice at this point. Kyle, have you seen it once?
I've only seen it the once. Yeah,
okay.
I've still only seen it the once.
Okay. I found that, like, for me, when I go see a movie the first time, a lot of times just the experience of it all shades my perspective. And so seeing it twice helps me kind of get a clearer view on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way. Cause I go in the first time, if I have an expectation of either what it's going to be like, or I'm excited for it, or hopeful that it's going to be good. And I just honestly, sometimes I can't relax and I'm like, okay, I've seen it. And so the second time, like I can see it and then really like take it in and like appreciate it for what it is, not what I want it to be.
Yeah.
You know? So I get that totally 100%.
Well, we went and saw it.
Yeah.
This is kind of the final big movie of the summer.
And our final episode for season 2. I think this is the end. Our
final episode for the summer season, season 2.
Yeah.
It's been great. I've enjoyed it. I think, I think at some point you mentioned that we should have titled it, "We Went to See All the Movies So You Won't Have to," something like that.
I've thought about this. This should have been our tagline, and I keep expanding phrases on it. But here's, I think, the final iteration of what the tagline should have been. Episode 1: "We see the movies so you don't have to unless you want to, and we hope you want to." That should have been our tagline.
Yeah, and we'll tell you what we think.
Yeah, we'll tell you exactly what we think. Yeah.
Well, Fantastic Four, it happened. This is probably the 76th version of the Fantastic Four that's made it to the screen, if you count Roger Corman's. What's your history with the Fantastic Four? Do you have one? Has it been a part of your life growing up?
Very little. I mean, obviously, I know who they are. I could call them by name, all 4 of them. Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and The Thing, Ben Grimm. I knew their names. I have never in my life read a Fantastic Four comic book. I know a little bit about kind of the lore. Reed Richards, supposedly the smartest man in the universe. But I have very little history. I saw the first one from maybe like 2005 or so, the Ian Guffold one, and
Michael Chiklis,
Jessica Alba, and that was Chris Evans. Yeah, was Johnny Storm. Yeah. So I saw that one in the theater. I remember seeing that. I didn't see the sequel. I didn't see the Michael B. Jordan one and Miles Teller one. I didn't see that one from 10 years ago or whatever. So very little connection to them apart from I know they're the first family of Marvel. That's really it.
Yeah. None of those movies are actually as bad as everyone feels that they are. Like there's been a lot of articles this past week. They're like, went back and watched and it really wasn't quite as, whatever.
Yeah.
However, they never really quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
And they never really quite made a dent in the pop culture movie zeitgeist, if you will.
Yeah.
And this is a very important comic group of characters for many generations. There's the generation that fell in love with them from comics, and then they had some great cartoons. But I think both in the 80s and the 90s. And so they were beloved. And so I think everybody was pretty excited to watch them on the movie screen. And then every time it wasn't just quite what we hoped for.
Yeah.
And in some ways I felt like different versions of it would hit one of the characters accurately, but they missed on others. I think everybody thought that Ian was pretty good as Reed Richards, kind of the traditional look there. I don't think Jessica Alba landed the plane. And then there was the Thing costumes. They were never quite right. Yeah. The CGI was never quite right. And so we've kind of arrived at this one. For me, it was a big part of my history. And it's interesting because it was when I was little. And then when I get older, I was very aware of the comics. I read them when I was little. My dad used to have stacks of comics. And they'd be piled up everywhere. And I'd get to go through. Most of them were X-Men or Spider-Man. But I read these comics growing up. Yeah. And at some point, it becomes a little impractical to be able to consume that material and then kind of be done with it. I mean, you can collect them, I guess, put them somewhere. But that was never really my thing with comics. And you can kind of get lost in the repetitive nature of how them coming out so monthly or weekly or whatever. And there's so much of them and so many storylines that sometimes it was just a lot to keep up with. But sometime around the mid 2000s, a tablet became into people's lives, mid to late 2000s. There was the iPad or the whatever, and it became a really useful way to consume comics. Comixology came out, Marvel, Marvel Unlimited, things like that, where you could sign up for a subscription and you could get all the comics. And so for me, I stumbled across something called the Future Foundation. I'd never heard of it before, never seen it. And it was the Fantastic Four, grown up a little bit with a family and with different people that were part of it. And that was very, very interesting to me. Reed Richards became very interesting to me because he was part of the Illuminati, which was like Professor X and Namor and Black Panther. And they were like trying to save the universe, by putting the smartest people in the room together. And so there's some really interesting stories from those 2000s comics that I was like, okay, there's a lot of really fascinating stuff going on with the Fantastic Four. And I would love to see that, captured accurately. And so, pretty big fan of the Fantastic Four, pretty big fan more as an adult than I have been, was maybe in my youth. In my youth, it was Spider-Man and X-Men.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four grew on me quite a bit, and I really enjoyed the Future Foundation.
That's cool.
So I'm excited. I was excited about this film. I was excited about, hopefully someone getting it right. Yeah. And there's a little bit of quite a bit on the line for Marvel.
Right.
Things haven't been going so well. I mean, not great. Thunderbolts was very good, but it didn't make a lot of money. It didn't really make a dent in public perception of where Marvel was going and what they were doing. Yeah. Well, Captain America, same way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it. I talk about this with my son sometimes because they're like, why would Robert Downey Jr. leave? Why does he not want to play Iron Man anymore? Why does Chris Evans not want to play, Captain America anymore? I was like, you gotta think about it. These guys have been playing these characters for 10, 12 years now, and that's gotta get old, for those guys. And so there's such a thing as contracts, and paying people and all these things. And like, at some point, those guys just got to be like, I'm done with this. So when you think about it, where the MCU is, the OGs, except for Thor, except for, Banner, and the actors that play them currently are gone. Even you get down to some of the second tier level. Like, I think Scarlet Witch is done, I'm sure they'll bring her back in some way, maybe a different actress or something, but, so the Chadwick Boseman passed away, that was a real life thing that had to incorporate into the script. So it's like,
were you thinking about Scarlet Witch as in Elizabeth Olsen, or were you
Elizabeth Olsen,
Scarlett Johansson?
No, Scarlet. Well, she's out too. Yeah. Okay. Black Widow and Scarlet Witch. Yeah. So, I mean, so many of these integral characters to phase 2 and 3 are gone. And so what you're left with is people who aren't quite as interesting, people who aren't quite as popular or as well known. And, I think that's some of why Marvel suffered. So here along comes the Fantastic Four, who are, some of the original comic book characters, some of the, most famous, most popular. And so, I think there's a lot riding because we need some more A-listers. We are hoping, even the Captain America film was based on C-listers,
and Harrison Ford.
Well, I'm not talking about the people who play. I'm talking about the characters.
The characters for sure. Yeah.
But even Thunderbolt Ross, he's not an A-list character,
No, I mean, yeah. And Harrison Ford isn't exactly drawing people into the theaters at 80 like he used to be at, whatever.
Like he used to.
Yeah.
I still have season tickets though.
I know.
Man. Except for I haven't watched Shrinking. One of my buddies from childhood was texting me. He's like, you need to watch Shrinking. I was like, I'm not quite there yet.
You know how I feel about Apple Plus in general.
So. Apple TV Plus pays you money because every chance you get, you talk about how wonderful it is and how great the service is and how awesome the movies and TV shows are. That's not true. You hammer on The Gorge. You did not like The Gorge.
No.
So you're honest.
That was a very self-indulgent film.
Much like Superman, but I digress. I
have a feeling that's coming back up tonight.
I don't know. It may.
Well, do you think you could give a spoiler-free summary? You want me to try to do it?
I think I can. And I think you need to correct me where I'm wrong because every now and then I misspeak. I say the wrong thing. But here's the biggest thing you need to know. Spoiler-free plot summary. Fantastic Four takes place on Earth 828. So this is not the same Earth or same universe that all the other, as far as I remember and know, that all the other MCU movies have taken place on. So this movie begins in what looks like maybe the mid-1960s, early to mid-1960s. And it's interesting. There's even like music that is from our time, but it is a completely different Earth where the technology is better, but the look of it still is the same. So it's kind of interesting. They have the cars and stuff look like the same type of cars. But later in the film, we see that they can travel at the speed of light. So all that to say, it is a futuristic past. I don't know the right term for that, but it's a futuristic past. We start the film with the Fantastic Four having been 3 or 4 years in their role as the Fantastic Four. They went into space the first time. They encountered some type of space anomaly of some sort, and they all got transformed into these heroes. Reed Richards became Stretchy Man, Sue Storm became invisible, among other powers. I don't know all her powers, but she can be invisible. Ben Grimm, the Thing, became like a rock, giant rock, and Johnny Storm became like a fireman. He's just nothing but fire, right? And he can fly. So this happened after their first trip to space. We start back, and it's really a really cool way, the way they start the film. It's like a newsreel, like we're about to go into a television show about the Fantastic Four. And that's basically where the film begins. So they're in progress. They've been the Fantastic Four for 3 or 4 years. They already had their powers. You know how they got their powers, and that we're in a different universe. And that's really all you need to know to start off the film. Everything else kind of explains things, helps you along, holds your hand where it needs to be held, and and shows you and tells you what you need to see to be able to fully grasp and enjoy the film. So that's what I would say as a spoiler-free plot summary.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Anything you would add?
I would just say, I think the best way to describe it is much like the Superman film. We get a group of superheroes that are in process. They're already doing their thing. It's not an origin story. It's very much the world has accepted and is in a Fantastic Four world, and Fantastic Four is ever present, and they are the heroes of the universe. And a threat comes their way to the likes that they've never seen, and it challenges their position on Earth, and it challenges their role, and it challenges just what the future could be look like altogether. I would say it's, in some capacities, it's a little bit of a movie about control and safety.
Yeah, and their bond as a family. It challenges and threatens their bond as a family as well, because Sue Richards and Johnny Storm are brother and sister. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Reed Richards and Sue Richards are married. Ben Grimm is Reed Richards' best friend. So they really are like a family, not just 4 people who kind of came together to form a superhero team. They're family. And that's a big part of the film as well, the family element.
Agreed. Yeah. I'm jotting a few things down because you're hitting some topics that I don't want to forget about.
Okay. All right. Good deal. I mean, I think we have sort of, set the table here. I think we're ready to talk about it a little bit. Or you want to roll with the 30-second reviews?
Yeah, I could do that.
All right. You ready to roll? You want me to go first?
Are you ready?
I'm ready, dude. I am ready.
Let me start the timer here. Hold on. I'll start the timer.
Okay. You get that bad boy started.
All right. Countdown as the stopwatch begins. Start it off this is Kyle Wiltshire's 30-second review of Fantastic Four First Steps in 3, 2, 1, go.
Unlike Superman, I had very little history with the Fantastic Four. Therefore, I had very little expectation or preconceived desire for what I want and what I didn't want this movie to be. What I did want, though, is for to have a good time at the theater again. I wanted to go to a Marvel movie and enjoy it like I did back in phases 1 and 2. I like the cast. I like the story. I felt it was well paced. And overall, I felt like it delivered what I wanted in a movie going experience in the MCU. So I enjoyed the Fantastic Four, and I'm going to give it 4 lightning bolts. Boom.
Okay. That was like 36 seconds. That's quite good.
Oh, sorry. I went a little long. Apologies.
No, it's great, dude. This is great.
All right, man. What about you? Let's hear it. I'm very curious because behind the curtain here a little bit, Jay and I try not to talk much after we see the movie, especially when we see it together. It's kind of funny. We're like, okay, see you, man. we get out.
That's really true. Your kids are probably like, man, you guys are weird.
Like, why does he leave so fast? But so that we can come in and we can have a fresh conversation here for you, our dear listeners. When it comes to the movie.
That is so true. We just sit there and like, all right, and then we leave.
Adios. So I don't know what Jay's going to say. I'm really excited. He may have hated it. He may have loved it. I'm pumped. Let's hear what we got.
Yeah. Before I start, just one question. Director, is it Matt Shankman? Is that his name?
I think that's how you say his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I get my stopwatch down here. Okay. Yeah, Matt Shankman. We'll go with that, whether it is or it isn't. Like Rachel Brosnahan or Rachel Brosnan. We're just going to go with it. Whichever one comes out, comes out.
Okay. I'll say it fast. The director, right. Matt Shankman.
Which one?
Swimmy, Swami, Shankman, Swanson. Oh, it's right here on the suitcase. Okay, you ready?
Here we go. Jay's 30-second review of the Fantastic Four. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Fantastic Four: First Steps is a fantastic film. Matt Shankman crushed it. The story is airtight. The universe is a delightful place to be in. The MCU is back, and this version of it and how it's going to connect is very interesting to me. I had lots of guesses of how I thought the story was going to go, and it didn't do those things, and I liked that very much. The actors were amazing. The story was great. It was a whole lot of fun. You should definitely go see it and go see it with your family. All the feels. I'd give it 4.75 lightning bolts.
36 seconds. We were both 36 seconds today.
Yeah.
Man. Wow.
That's still really good.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Good deal. So you enjoyed it. Wow, you not as much as you like Superman, though. You gave Superman 5.
I did. I've got thoughts.
Stand by that? Do you stand by Superman as a 5-star?
I do.
Or 5 lightning bolt?
Yeah, I have reasons. You and I talked about this quite a bit. Like, what is our purpose of like, what are we doing? Like, and some of it we are critically reviewing a film. Some of it is telling about what's good and what's not. But for you felt like Superman's story was good. You felt like the acting was good. You felt like the characters were right. Like, it was a good movie. Like, it was not a bad film, but it wasn't what you wanted, and it wasn't as much fun for you. And so you gave it what you gave it because that's how you felt about it. I would say it's probably a similar thing. Like, I watched it twice, and I yawned a few times in this the second time around. I did not have the energy like I did the first go around. It's a little slower in certain spots.
You talking about Superman or Fantastic Four?
No, I'm talking about Fantastic Four.
Okay, gotcha.
And after watching the second time Superman, I didn't have those moments. Like, I was very much enjoying the ride. There were a few little things I noticed the second time with Fantastic Four. It's a great film. Like, I think people ought to go see it. I think a lot of people should take their families to go see it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I think people should also go see Superman. If you were to ask me which one do you have to see, I would say you have to see Superman. I think it's more important to the future of superhero movies for the DCU than Fantastic Four is. Now, history might prove me wrong. This Fantastic Four may be the beginning of like a renaissance for MCU movies, because this was a really, really good film. Like, I thought that Matt Shankman was phenomenal. Like, I thought that the universe that he created, the world that he created, was really, really great. And there's some interesting things about it. And I thought it was really good. Like, it's about as close to a 5-star review as I could give.
Okay.
But Superman edges out for me because I think it's a little bit more important.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so. I mean, Superman is the number 1 draft pick for the DCU. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no way to get around it. Like, if that one doesn't hit, none of them are going to hit. It's right. I mean, there may be some funnier things. There may be some more exciting things. There may be some even better films. But if Superman doesn't work, none of it's going to work. Yeah. Whereas, I mean, MCU is kind of in this position where it's like, we really need the Fantastic Four to work, to get us back on track a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the next film is Spider-Man 4. And then after that, it's the new Avengers film. Like, they're basically done setting the table for another Avengers film. First one since Endgame, 2019. So we're talking 7 years since an Avengers movie.
I feel like Doomsday is going to be a little bit like Deadpool in a sense. There's going to be a lot of people that you haven't seen on screen in a movie in like a couple of decades almost. Like Rebecca Stamos, Rebecca Romijn, or whatever as Mystique. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Bringing back the OG X-Men cast is going to be really interesting. I mean, Picard, what's his name? The actor's name. It won't come to me. John Luke.
Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick and Sir Ian McKellen are both, I think, pushing 90.
Yeah, they're old.
And they're both in it.
I don't really know. I mean, what are they going to do with Magneto?
Magneto could barely do, Ian McKellen could barely do anything in 2014 Days of Future Past. I mean, he was darn near immobile. Yeah. Now, Patrick Stewart's got the advantage. He sits in a chair. He doesn't have to do all. Does one of these. and that's really about it. But just if he still delivers lines, he's good to go. But anyway, we digress. We need to get back to Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. Kyle, talk about what you like, because I went on a rant for a little while. So you talk about what you like.
Good. Let's go full spoiler here. Let's let our listeners know we're going full spoiler at this point.
Time to rock and roll.
Spoiler warning.
Warning.
So that's like a red alert on.
Don't be upset with us if you keep watching after this, because we're about to talk about everything.
This is it. We're pulling all the curtain back, full spoiler. So, I enjoyed the cast. Pedro Pascal has to be one of the biggest interesting actors in that he always looks like Pedro Pascal. Like I've rarely ever seen him in a role where I'm like, oh, I didn't recognize him. You know what I mean? Like he always looks the same, but he always plays someone totally different. You cannot accuse the guy of just playing himself. Like you could say Robert Downey Jr. just playing himself as Tony Stark. Or
that's exactly right.
He's always playing someone different. So I have no history with Reed Richards, so I enjoyed the performance. I thought it was interesting. He spoke differently. He was nerdy when it seemed to be nerdy. The science seemed like mumbo jumbo, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, it was just fun, and him scribbling stuff on a chalkboard makes it seem smart. So yeah, cool. It's fun. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the family camaraderie. I enjoyed the retro 60s kind of vibe in the future, the futuristic 60s, though. I thought that was really a cool feel, a cool way to do it. I enjoyed the Galactus and Silver Surfer. I thought those were both kind of interesting. Again, a lot of people were frustrated that it was a girl Silver Surfer. I have no history of Silver Surfer. I don't care anything about the Silver Surfer. I just know as a silver person on a surfboard. Why a surfboard? I don't know. Kind of cool. Do they call them surfboards in space, in these other worlds? Must be, but I just thought it was kind of cool. I really enjoyed the fellow that played Johnny Storm. I can't remember the actor's name.
Eddie Munson.
I hate that the first time I ever saw him on screen, to my knowledge, was Eddie Munson, because I did not enjoy the Eddie Munson character from season 4 of Stranger Things or whatever. I was like, that dude's 37 years old. He's not in high school anymore. Why is the guy with the receding hairline playing a high school character? Anyway, so yeah, I enjoyed the story. I had a good time at the movies watching a Marvel film, and that's really all I want at this point. Now, when you roll back around to Avengers movies and you roll back around to, some of the characters I care a little more, if they ever redo a Iron Man or whatever, I like the X-Men, so when they do that, like, I'm going to have a little bit more expectation, a little bit more like, okay, here's what I want to see out of this. But this, I had very little, like, I just wanted to have fun, and I had fun. It was worth it. It was good. What'd you like? You kind of waxed eloquent about Sherman and his direction and all that. What about it?
I think that he took some very real feelings about parenthood and about what it's like to have a child, and how you want to, he went from literally showing the robot putting safety locks on everything and fences to, Reed Richards trying to put down all the crime in one fell swoop. And then, the big bad guy wanting to take the son and not having really control over that. Then even the prophecy of what this kid will be, the one who devours. He has a cosmic hunger, I think is what they said. What do you do when you're a parent and you feel like you're told your kid is going to be bad? And that's an interesting concept. And I don't know that we've seen that on screen in a superhero film.
Well, in Star Wars Episode 8, Rian Johnson would tell you that, the hero tries to kill his nephew is what he tries to do. That's what he does. So I'm glad they didn't take that route.
There's no bitterness there, Kyle.
No, very bitter.
That, it's funny. My next point about this is interesting. I found it fascinating. Unlike Kyle, in the universe of the Fantastic Four and Earth 828, there was no cynicism. It was a very earnest, accepting universe. The Fantastic Four had been astronauts, just like we would celebrate astronauts. They did a really great job in making you feel like when the ship, the Excelsior, took off, it felt like you were watching The Right Stuff or one of those things. It was cool.
Yeah.
But they had gotten these cosmic mutations. They'd come back and now they had become this gift to the world. And Reed Richards had invented all of these things that made the world better and continue to do so, and had kind of given them to the world. I mean, you saw little robots walking dogs as they flew through different things like that. And so like, they had made the world a better place with their gifts, and they were all considered genuinely good people. And you could kind of see that, and the world accepted them, and there was no cynicism. There was no distrust of them. It was not a dark version of a universe where superheroes were corrupt. There was really no cynicism or corruption in the Fantastic Four, and the world accepted them to the point where, you know, Sue Storm is a national leader, you know, or putting countries together.
She's like the diplomat that saves the world. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just thought that was different. It worked with the story that they were trying to tell, and every choice that they made, like I liked the fact that they brought in the Mole Man. I didn't really understand, like it was one of Fantastic Four's bad guys, and it's kind of a ridiculous plot line or whatever, but like they used it so expertly to solve their problems.
Yeah.
And I loved the way things were brought up in order to solve problems later in the film. I thought that the writing was very tight.
Yeah. My sons, you know, who have even less experience with Fantastic Four than I do, but they just love superhero movies and go on the movies with me. They have more experience with The Incredibles, and they were like, "Is this Mole Man?" You know, or not Mole Man, the Underminer. The Underminer is what they called him. And I was like, basically, the Incredibles are the Fantastic Four. So yes, that's exactly what it is. And I didn't know anything about that character, but I was like, yeah, he's basically the Underminer.
Well, I mean,
pretty cool.
One of the things that's interesting about the Fantastic Four is everybody kind of falls in love with Sue. So the Mole Man has a thing for her.
Right.
Dr. Doom definitely has a thing for her. And that's just an interesting thing. And I thought they covered Dr. Doom so perfectly in this film by talking about how all the world leaders were together, and then by just showing a plaque of Latveria and he wasn't sitting there. You know, that lets anybody that knows anything about the Fantastic Four know that Doom does exist in their universe in some capacity. And so we don't know who we're dealing with and how all this is going to work together. But
well, you had to tell me. I was like, I don't get that. What is that? You know, you're like, oh, that's Doom's country. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
There was a lot that I liked about it. I thought that it looked cool. It looked different. It felt like we were in a different world. It didn't feel like we were in the exact same world and it was just a different parallel universe where people were a little different. Like it felt different, and it felt similar but different. And you accepted a lot of things in that world that maybe you might not have accepted if everything looked exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, you remember, you know, the original Star Trek. I'm going to make two Star Trek thoughts here, but the first one is, in the original Star Trek, which came out in the 60s, which is when this movie sort of set, it seems, the idea was that by exploring into space and going deeper into space, we can achieve some type of peace and unity. You know, we work together so that, you know, we may have warring factions with people on other planets, but the people on our planet, we're all unified. We're all on the same page, you know, and it seems like that's kind of what the Fantastic Four were starting to achieve on their own planet. And, you know, as they, plot progressed and they get to the point where the world has to conserve energy, you know, everyone buys in. Everyone's like, yes, we'll do it. We'll shut off all of our electricity from 8 o'clock on. And that, of course, that one little graphic that they did show as the world was spinning made the world shut their energy off at the exact same time, which did not factor in time zones. So just a little plot hole there in your tight story. But
when you think about it, though, some of the things that happened with COVID on our planet, for the most part, everybody had a similar kind of experience for at least a couple of weeks, like even the lockdown. And so like, it is a thing that could potentially happen if the entire planet was in peril.
If we had to, we possibly could all come together like that. Yeah, I could see that. I could get behind that to some degree. The second Star Trek point I wanted to make is I hadn't thought about the way you phrase it. I think this could be really interesting. But do you remember Star Trek 4? When they went to 1986, they went to the present day, and they're walking around San Francisco and people are cussing them out and stuff. And they're like, what's going on? You know, they have no clue what's happening. Like, I think that may be part of the plot point of, you know, when the Fantastic Four come into this Avengers universe. You know, it seems like, at least from the Thunderbolts stinger, you know, that they're coming into this new world. They're coming in. Yes, for some reason they've made their way to this new universe somehow, and it'll be interesting to see them come into a cynical world and see them come into the world that's experience the snap and come back.
I thought you were going to say something like they were all going to have goatees, and that was going to be the evil version of them.
The evil versions, yeah. Well, my son was like, he leaned over, he was like, what if the Fantastic Four aren't on that ship from the Thunderbolts? What if it's Doom? And I was like, oh, son, you're brilliant. Could be. You watch that. That could be. That's from the mouth of babes.
Could be.
But anyway, yeah, that's cool, man. I did enjoy it. But I think a big part of it was because I had no expectation. I had no unlike you, I had no this is what I want to see in this movie. They need it. This character needs to do this. They need to act this way. And they need to, these are things that I had none of that, so I could just relax and enjoy it.
There are some things that they did that are not totally faithful to the characters. Just a small one, Ben Grimm has a lot of pain over how he looks and his acceptance in the world. And there's a little bit of bitterness towards Reed for not taking care of him. And they kind of didn't deal with that. And I think it worked for the movie.
They didn't. I think they showed it. They didn't tell it, because when he's moping around the streets, he's a little sad.
Sure, but I just mean towards Johnny and Reed had a little bit of a contentious relationship. Reed considered Johnny less than, the way he talked to him and stuff. Now, that was another thing that I liked. I liked how all four of the characters contributed to solving problems.
Yeah.
Thought that was really cool.
They did. That was a part of the story, though. Again, it was show it, not tell it. They, when Johnny was trying to discern the messages, the space messages on the records, no one would give him a second. They wouldn't listen to him when he was coming in. He's like, I discovered something. And they're like, shut up. We got to do this other thing that's more important. They didn't say it that way, but so he was sort of dismissed. So again, I think both of those plot elements are there. The framework or the roots of that are there, but without having to explicitly do it and say it. So I think that's probably really good storytelling.
Yeah. They also filmmaking. This is a nice subversion. In the comics, Johnny Storm dies. He dies. He gives himself up. He sacrifices himself. Now, of course, he always comes back in comics.
Right.
And so there was that moment where he started to kind of save the day. And I think we were all anybody that actually knows the story was kind of expecting it. And it was really cool the way they subverted that. So
yeah,
my expectations were very different.
Uncle Johnny loves him.
Yeah. I thought that the planet was going to be destroyed and they were going to disappear into a new dimension, and none of that happened.
Right. Yeah. It is, interestingly, it is the only Marvel movie since Iron Man, honestly, where there is no other connection to any other film. There's no connection. I mean, remember, spoiler alert, even the Stinger, when Doom shows up, it's connecting to something in the future, but it's not connected to anything that's already happened.
Yeah, we've never really seen Doom on screen before.
Yeah, we just know his cast. We know Robert Downey Jr. is playing him. We know it's the next movie, or the next movie is Doomsday. But there was no cameo. There was no poster with Tony Stark on it. There was no Howard Stark. There was no Captain America mention, or a Shield or anything. There was nothing. There was nothing that connected to the rest of the MCU. It is the complete and only standalone MCU movie at this point. And I thought that was really fascinating, really interesting.
No, I agree.
Yeah, really cool.
So what did you not like about it?
Jay, I'm going to tell you what kept this from being higher than 4. And it really is less than 4. 4 was a joke, to go with the Fantastic Four. It's probably more like a 3.75 if I'm really honest. The space birth took me right out of the movie. I could not handle that at all. That is the type of stuff in movies that just drives me bananas. We're in space. We're having a battle with a world-devouring monster, Galactus, and she's going to go into labor as they're escaping and flying and going to successfully have a child without a drop of blood, barely any gross stuff. Now, I know, I know they've got to sanitize it for the audience, but if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. And they did not do it right in any way in that scene. It was awful. It was so bad. It took me right out of the movie. She had her pants on for most of the time, and she kicked them off right before that baby was born. She's wearing pants. She kicks her pants off, and then there's a baby born. Stupid. It was just stupid. And it took me right out of the movie. I had to I had to get myself back into it. So that was rough. That was really rough.
Now, having seen it twice,
yeah,
it's interesting because Hannah Chase had that argument. She was like, I mean, it was not real. And I'm like, what do you want? Like, do you want a floating placenta? Like, do you want a floating placenta in the screen? Like, what are you going to do with it?
I can tell you exactly what I want. I don't want the baby born during that sequence. I want her to go into labor. I want her to be in peril, maybe even pass out or in a coma or something. They take her home. Then the baby's born.
Couple plot points.
Yeah.
One, Galacticus put her into labor. Like, that's what happened. Like, he basically said, you're about to have this baby and I'm going to take this baby. Like, he put her into labor. Two, there was a month journey. Like, it took them a month to get back home. So, like, is she going to just, like, hold her legs together for a month? Like,
get free and clear and go Padme Amidala that one with the Herbie. Let Herbie deliver the baby, just like the little monsters or little robots.
I mean, at least they cut the umbilical cord. They, Ben Grimm brought out his, giant size scissors. And, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't have like the sound of two rocks scraping together as he was cutting. Cause they had a lot of rock sounds as he moved around.
Or that or just don't show it. Like, have her passed out in a chair, like, oh no, she's going to die before the baby can be born. Escape, get free and clear. And then next thing you see is she's holding the baby. She's okay. She's alive. But don't show the birth. That's just stupid. That really took me out. Really took me out of the movie.
It's interesting. I don't know that scene really bothered me that much. In fact, I think my favorite part of the whole movie, if you were to say what was the favorite part of the movie, was from the time they took off in that spaceship until they came home in that spaceship. I thought that was a really interesting part of the story for me. But what I didn't like was that baby. I felt like everybody talked about how great the special effects were, but that baby like literally looked like it was in a different film. The way it was lit, the things that it did with its body, like it felt like I was looking at like, remember those commercials where like the babies were dancing or whatever, or the babies were like giving tax returns and stuff like for Super Bowl commercials. Like, like it was a lot. Like, the CGI on the baby was too much for me and was distracting.
When he brought his mother back to life, again, spoiler alert,
right?
I was like, that looks a little rough. I feel like I can see the seams a little bit. He's like, Hercules.
But at the same time, man, Pedro was like acting. Like it was A-lister acting.
He was good.
The acting in this movie was very good.
You were pleased with Pedro? Because I've heard some other people not happy with Pedro.
I don't think he was given much to do.
Yeah.
He had the one tone of basically worry.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that particular part of the story being that's what he does, and guilt and worry, I thought he handled it all really well. Like finding out that he's a dad, how he deals with that, great. The scenes where he's trying to work through what he's going to do and the logic and all that, and the arguments between him and Vanessa Kirby were phenomenal. I thought Vanessa Kirby was like A+ out of this world, like a very, for the first time ever on screen, believable Sue Storm. Like she's Sue Storm. Like, I don't know who else would ever do that again. That's that role for me.
One other thing, when I was just thinking about, things that I didn't like about that. Well, is there anything you didn't like?
Baby was a problem for me.
The CGI baby.
I initially didn't care for Mole Man, but how it solved itself in the story made me really like how they did it and what they
paid
did.
off. Yeah, it paid off well. Yeah, that was good.
I'm glad that they didn't bring on the orangutan man. I'm glad Malkovich was out of it. I think that I grew a little bored with some of the ins and outs of figuring everything out and the conversations about figuring things out and like
Archimedes lever or whatever.
Yeah,
that was a little
it's
petty.
Important to like doing a story and like the black holes and the slingshot around whatever. I mean, we've seen that a million times in sci-fi, and so they didn't really deal with it too much, but I just was a little drab sometimes.
I did not like the storytelling plot point of Reed Richards basically saying, yeah, we had a choice and we chose our baby over all of you. Like, I did not like that.
That was a really weird moment in the first time I saw it. In the second time, it didn't bother me as much. And a lot of it had to do with the lack of cynicism that was in the world and the universal trust that they had. And so, like, it's almost like they had decided they were going to tell the truth no matter what. And so in doing so, he didn't really think about the consequences of it because he's so beloved, and so whatever. And so, like, he just told the truth. And like, I really didn't care for it round one. Round two, it made a little more sense to me based on what the world was like.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's reading into it somewhat, but I could go there with you on that. I could go there with you. And it was a little bit ultra convenient that Sue Storm could come out and give one speech, and everything's better now. Everything's fixed. So, there were some plot contrivances that, not my favorite.
Yeah, but I wouldn't give it 5 lightning bolts, that's for sure.
There you go. But bottom line, I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. Great. I'll watch it again. I don't know if I'll watch, Brave New World again. I'm not sure if it wasn't that great. It's okay. I'll probably watch Thunderbolts again. I enjoyed that one. I'll definitely watch Fantastic Four again, and I want to go see it again before my Regal Unlimited runs out. So I need to do that. I got to go quickly.
So what was your favorite movie this summer?
I've given a lot of thought to this, and you could probably guess, but for me, it was F1. And the reason why is because it was not franchise. Yes, F1 is a real thing, and it was trying to like live in that universe and like make you have a connection to the F1 kind of like look and feel. Some of the drivers were real, some of the teams were real, stuff like that. But man, I enjoyed movie star on the screen doing movie star things in kind of a sports film. It is a sports film, it's racing, but just good 90s. It felt like a good 90s movie, man. And that is the best time I had at the theater. So glad I saw it on the big screen. When those fireworks were exploding, like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, when they're in Daytona in that race, man, I got like moved. I don't know why. Something about that just hit me. I was like, God, that's cool. So for me, it was F1, definitely my favorite movie this summer. Not the best movie, not, it's not going to win big awards or anything.
It's your favorite, though.
It's my favorite. It's the one I enjoyed the best. What about you, man?
Far and away, number one for me, my favorite movie that I saw this. I mean, like, I've enjoyed just about everything I went and saw, with the exception of Karate Kid. Like, I've enjoyed just about everything I went and saw. And it's like, this was a fantastic summer movie. Like, for us to pick this summer, I don't know that there's going to be a better summer where there's this many films that are good.
Yeah.
Like,
we picked a good summer.
Yeah. I don't know that if we were to say a movie was bad, it would probably be the Karate Kid Legends. That would probably be the one that was like close to bad.
And Superman.
My favorite movie of the summer was Superman. Like, I think I will watch it again. I think I am excited about seeing that character on screen again. And I love that world, and I'm in. Like, I want to see what he does with the next stuff. And I'd be fascinated to see who's going to be Batman. I don't think it's going to be Robert Pattinson. I think that's going to be a separate world. And, I've heard a rumor of Reacher, Alan Rickman being Batman. That would be different.
Have you heard the Henry Cavill rumors?
No.
I have seen a Henry Cavill rumor floating around that he might show up as Batman, which would be fascinating.
Yeah. I hope they don't do that.
Probably not. Probably too stunty. Probably too Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. Little stunt casting, but he could pull it off.
Yeah,
Cavill could pull it off.
He'd be an okay Batman. Alan Rickman, though, that would be an imposing figure in that suit. You know what I mean? Like, that would be interesting.
It would be a fresh take on Batman. It really would. Because
the only downside of that is to put that large of a human in the suit really makes it unbelievable that no one knows that he's Bruce Wayne.
That he's Bruce Wayne, yeah. 6'5", 300-pound Bruce Wayne is. It just so happens that Batman is 6'5", 300 pounds. Whatever.
It's like Brian Denton running across the field with a mask on, and everybody wondering like, who's this guy doing?
Brian Denton, go back to your room. How'd you know it was me, man? Because there's not another man your size who can run as fast as you can. Come on, go back to your room.
Yeah, I think we found a problem with Alan Rickson. But I get excited about seeing who's who and what they're going to do. And like, I've been reading articles on the mural in the Justice Hall about who all these people were. And like, I think there's just a lot in the DCU that could be mined that people might find enjoyable. And so I'm not saying that I think it's going to be better than the Marvel universe. I like the Marvel characters better. I always have. I'm just excited for the future.
I figured out, and I told you this, I figured out really ultimately what bugged me the most about Superman, why I didn't like it, is because it reminded me of that Luke Wilson movie from like 2002 called Idiocracy, where Luke Wilson is this dummy, this really idiot, and he goes into some kind of like cryo freeze or something. I don't remember all the ins and outs, but he wakes up like 300 years later, and he's the smartest man on the planet. Everyone else is a dummy. And like everything is neon, everything is goofy. The president is, like a former reality TV star. Well, that's real life. That's what the world we live in now. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's just this real like stupid world. And he's a genius now. And that's what it made me feel like watching that movie. Like, This is Superman in Idiocracy, where everyone's a big dummy except for Lois Lane. Even Perry White, I was like, he doesn't seem very smart. Lex's people, they're doing high-tech stuff on these computers, but they don't seem very smart. They seem really dumb. Lex is a genius, I guess, but he kind of comes off dumb. Like everything felt dumb to me. And that's really what bugged me the most. And the more as I continue to think about it, process it.
And as we've seen from the box office, it's okay for you to be wrong. Like, it's okay.
Box office doesn't equal right, Jay. Box office doesn't equal right.
But it does rarely do films that aren't good make tons of money. Those two things kind of line up. Like, tell me bad films that brought in, $1 billion. There's not that many of them.
There's a lot more than you'd realize. At this point, Jurassic reboot for the 7th time has still made more money.
Transformers. That's bad.
It made $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one, at least.
Not that many though.
I mean, there's more than you think. The list is a lot longer than you realize, So I get what you're saying. I get that, people are going to see it. I'll be curious to see if it passes Jurassic Park because it's still behind.
Well, there is a problem. Like when you get into world box office, Superman doesn't travel as well.
It's too American, yeah.
Too American. And so
but even in America, it's not past Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll pass Jurassic whatever. Dinosaurs are killing it. Dinosaurs kill it globally. Domestically, not quite the same.
Season 3, we'll revisit this.
That's fine. I'm good. I'm good with that.
Hey, let's talk about the future really quick. Let's, I got really excited when we were at Fantastic Four together, and I saw some fresh trailers. I saw 2 or 3 trailers that I had not seen yet, and so it got me thinking. Jay, what are you looking forward to? Like, what are you like the films that are coming out in the next several months, even up to a year? Like, what are the things that are on your radar that, like, man, I cannot wait for that? Is there 1 or 2 that really stand out for you?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about this at all. We haven't brought it up at all. But in this past week, Happy Gilmore 2 came out on Netflix.
Yeah, it did.
And not great. But there's things about it that I think are important. It's just a stupid film, and it's meant to be stupid, and it's meant to be fun, and you're supposed to laugh at jokes. Yeah. I am really hopeful that in the near future, we will get stupid, funny films. I'm very excited for Naked Gun. I feel like it is in that realm of you want to go and you don't really want to, you don't really need the plot to be perfect. You just need it to be funny, and you need to laugh, and you need to have some jokes that surprise you. And I think we're going to get that with Naked Gun.
Yeah. My excitement for that one has been increasing as well.
Because there was a trailer for that, right? Didn't we get to see a little bit of that?
We did see another trailer for that. Yeah.
That whole scene of him going in and like being like, I'm stepping in blood. This is weird. And then, knife says, pick me up. And he's did you see that? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't remember that part.
I guess it might've been in the trailer for today, but like he basically goes through setting himself up to be framed for murder. And like he's holding the dead body, and then the cops come in while he's holding the dead body with the knife. And it's just this whole, like just this perfect little ridiculous setup. And so I'm excited.
My excitement for that movie peaked at the very first trailer when all the guys were weeping over their dad's portraits, and OJ's son looked at him and went, that just owned me.
Yeah. I am excited about Naked Gun. I'm excited about the next couple of Marvel things. I think the Tom Holland one's going to be interesting, and I think Avengers Doomsday is building up steam.
Yeah.
What else did we see? I mean, I know that you're going to talk about Avatar, but what else did we see?
Yeah, I am curious in this new Paul Thomas Anderson movie with Leo DiCaprio, where he's like a former CIA agent or something, like a SEAL team, he's like a hired killer kind of thing, and they've kidnapped his daughter, and he's got to get her back. It looks funny, it looks silly, it looks action packed. Like, I'm like, what is this movie? So it's kind of got me intrigued.
Yeah.
Comes out in September, makes me nervous. September's kind of a dumping zone, but that's Paul Thomas Anderson, though. Like, he makes good movies typically. Yeah. Not always my cup of tea, but he makes good movies.
Doesn't make bad films. No.
Yeah. So that, you said it, Avatar. I had not seen that. Trailer.
Nobody had. Was
that the premiere?
That was the premiere.
Oh, chill bumps head to toe, man. I don't know what it is about those blue people and their flying monsters and their whales, but they just speak my language, man. That just speaks my language. It looks really exciting. I cannot wait. And they have both surpassed $2 billion, both of those.
I'm very happy for you.
I'm surprised you said, and you may want to talk about this a little bit more, but I'm very excited, looking forward to Project Hail Mary. I think that looks really good. I've not read the book, but I'm really excited for it.
I read the book. Ryan Gosling had the ability to kind of look average. And I thought that was awesome, like, to see that, because I felt like when they originally announced his casting, he was a little too handsome for the role. But that is a fascinating story. I think it's equally fascinating to me that they've got Lord Miller doing the story, because this looks like it looks like something George Clooney shot as far as space goes. It looked like something, it was mega. And the tone is going to be interesting, because much like The Martian, most of the film is going to be Ryan Gosling by himself. That's going to be a large part of it. And so he's going to have some Castaway-like opportunities to kind of act and dig his. And the story is not that different than Fantastic Four in some ways. The whole Earth has to come together to stop something that's happening. And so that's probably number one on my list. And I'm glad you brought it up, because the trailer gets me every time. And like how it ends, I don't think they've given really a whole lot away. You still don't know what's going to happen or how it happens, even though he meets an alien. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
And you can't know. And it'll be interesting to see if they stick that landing. But from what I've read, the author is very pleased by what he's seen, and he's very excited about it.
Good.
So,
well, The Martian is one of my favorite movies of the 2010s, if not my favorite. It is a rewatchable remote drop. If I'm flipping the channels and I see The Martian on, if I see it on the list, I can't go there because I'm going to sit there and watch it.
Is that it's not James Cameron? Who did?
Oh, that was Ridley Scott. Yeah, Ridley Scott.
Yeah, I knew it was. I knew it was a big dog.
That's good. That's such a great movie.
That is a director flexing his muscles a little bit too, as long as, with Matt Damon, it's both of them kind of saying, okay, we know how to tell a story. They changed the ending from the book. They did. And that made me
it made it a little more exciting. The ending of the book is a little bit anticlimactic, but because I have read the book. I have not read the book for Project Hail Mary yet. Should I read it before I go see the movie, or should I wait till after? Which I waited till after. I saw The Martian first, and then I read the book second. What do you think I should do for this?
I think if you read the book before, it'll make you a little bit more interested to see how they're going to do what they do.
Okay.
Because
even though it'll spoil the movie, like it'll spoil.
Yeah. You already catch a lot of the beats. You already know a lot of the beats about what's going to happen. Like, from the trailer, you already know things. And so, like, I say, read it. It's not that long, and it's really interesting. And I really liked everything they chose to do in that movie and in the book. And I really like what I've seen, and I'll be just as excited to go in and see the film. And plus, if you go watch it, if you go read the book now, like today, you're not going to remember exactly everything.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah, that's probably right. That was my first impulse. I was like, man, I want to read that before I see this movie.
Do it.
So I read Dune before I saw the movie, and I had a good appreciation for that. But
we don't have a Dune anytime soon, right?
There is a new Dune coming out, I think, in December. Is it not?
Yeah.
Or is it next year? It might be next year.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what I'm really excited about, and that's the Bruce Springsteen biopic, and I'm not a Bruce guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy Allen White. I finished The Bear season 4 last night, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You got opinions on that? I mean, do we need to save it, or should we
let's save it? Let's not. Maybe
it's going to be a long time before we do this again, probably.
You never know.
Did you like it?
I did like it. I did. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the whole season. I liked the arc, the story arc, the direction it's going.
Yeah.
I liked the way they plotted it.
2 words. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, 2 words. Good season. That was 2 words. It had, it didn't hit. Every episode wasn't awesome. There were 2 or 3 episodes that were like, I could have done without that one. But by and large, I thought, wow. When I saw the first season of that show, I was like, I don't know if I can handle this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that 10th episode, that final episode, when they discovered the cans, and I was like, I'm hooked. I am in. And it was because of Radiohead. I'm going to be honest. It's because they're playing Radiohead. And since then I've been in, and it's interesting how little by little, as the seasons have gone, how calmer the show has been. That first season was so chaotic. It was so hard to watch, so dissonant to the end, and then you got a little bit of that in that last episode was interesting, but to see the way it all came around. So let's stop there. Let's not talk more about that.
I want to say things.
Say some things, Jay.
Okay.
We're at 105. If you're still here, thank you. We love you. Keep listening.
This is for us at this point. We know that the 17 of you that are watching this long form, you're in it because you're interested too. But the thousands, you'll get your 30-second clips and you'll be fine. You'll get your reels. It's probably the most authentic version of real life TV I think I've ever seen, as far as dealing with feelings and emotions, and like with people that are actually going through psychological things, how they act.
Yeah.
Someone that's lived in the house that Carmi lived in. That's what he would do.
Yeah.
That's how he would act. How they fought at the end was awesome. Like, it was like painful to watch. Like, it was like I felt like Sydney sitting there, like not supposed to be watching what was happening.
Yeah.
And then when they both decided to get real, it was beautiful. Yeah. It was healing. Like, I just
make you want to smoke.
Oh my gosh. Like, I just loved every choice that they made with where the characters are going and what they're doing. I just loved it. I loved it. I loved the truthfulness of it. I loved, the only thing that's the most unbelievable is just the Josh Hartnett and, the way that they all,
every character in the film got under a table and had a moment with the daughter, but
that table kept growing.
let me tell you who I love. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. She should win awards. She should win everything. She won it last year. She won or maybe two years ago. Her in the one in the kitchen table. What's so beautiful about her is she's letting herself age. She's not like, like you see the wrinkles and the life in her face, and it's beautiful. It's so good, and like her acting, like she was always funny, Trading Places, True Lies, always great, really fun actress. But like, as she's come into her maturity as an older woman, she is just leaps and bounds. Such a good actor. Like, I'm just blown away when she comes on the screen, and like, just so good. She should just rename the award the Jamie Lee Curtis Award for television acting.
Yeah.
Because it's so good.
Yeah. It is cathartic and real. There are many people who never get that chance to say that to what they said to the loved one.
Yeah.
And to watch Jeremy Allen White respond to it the way he did.
Yeah.
It's just outrageously amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's cool.
It's worth it. A lot of gross language, a lot of stuff you kind of have to overcome. But like, if you can take the ride, man, I think it's a very healing story and worth the trip.
And if you say earmuffs, you can say anything after that.
That's right. How about Bob Odenkirk? How good was that?
Yeah. Well, I think the theme of this season is that if you try and if you want to, and you put in the time, you put in the effort, you can get better. You can get better.
Yeah, you can get better.
Every single person in the show, except for maybe Marcus, who's getting better professionally, but he won't have the conversation with his dad. He won't forgive his dad. He won't sit down at the restaurant with his dad, whatever. Everyone else seems to be, and Sydney's maybe kind of stalling out. She's, not really sure what's going on with her. Her dad has this heart attack, and what's going on in her insides. But everyone else is like trying to get better, and you can see it from the bit players. I love the episode where Odenkirk was talking about how he and Mikey actually became friends. And like how cathartic that was for Carmy to realize that, yeah, it really did happen. Just some really cool stuff. We have talked way too much about that because we could probably do a whole episode on the Bear.
It was awesome.
How good it is. But
it was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cousin. It's probably time for us to wrap this up. What did we learn?
What'd you learn? Jay, I learned today that you don't have any problem with ridiculous space births.
Okay, fair. It's not that I guess my issue is, what do you want? Like, do you really want blood flying around? Like, do you want that?
I don't want it on
screen. Do you want to see somebody catch a floating placenta?
I don't want it on screen.
Do you want to see them cook it and eat it? Like they're in some, yeah. Now, I feel like if that was in like Suicide Squad or James Gunn or something like that, you're just seeing some animal, munching on the placenta after it was over with, Yeah, I don't need all that.
I don't want it. It didn't
for the
help
purpose
the
of the story. It didn't bother me.
It didn't help the movie to have her actually give birth in that scene right there. Didn't help the movie. It didn't make it any better. It only made it worse in my estimation, in my view. Just like saving squirrels, it made it worse. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Jay, what'd you learn, man? Did you learn anything today?
I just think that it is amazing that a baby delivery bothers you more than the completely unrealistic rule breaking of F1 and like how absurd that film is and unbelievable that film is. And
I don't know anything about F1, so it doesn't bother me. I didn't know anything about the rules or not the rules. I had a good time watching it. That's the standard of which I was measuring it.
I'm reminded of one of the all-time greats, Val Kilmer, in the movie Tombstone, as Doc Holliday, saying that his hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Hypocrisy knows no. You're a daisy if you do. I love it. God rest your soul, Val Kilmer and Hulk Hogan and Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy Osbourne. So many of our heroes lost this year, man. Great episode, Jay. Enjoyed it. Love you, brother.
Love you too, buddy.
Let's do
Good night,
this,
cousin.
Man. Cousin, love you.